Good evening, everyone. This meeting, July 10th,
business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and identified in the motion authorizing the closed meeting were heard, discussed, and considered in the closed meeting.
Second.
motion made by Ms. Spillman, seconded by Ms. Lee. Ms. Thompson, can you call the vote?
Mr. Page is absent this evening. Ms. Lee?
Yes.
Dr. Berlin?
Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Yes.
Ms. Spillman?
Yes.
Ms. Pryor?
Yes.
Chair Acuff?
Yes, motion passes. Next, roll call. Let's identify ourselves so people at home can know which voice attaches.
Rosalind Schmidt, Chief Operating Officer. Judy Lee, Rivanna District.
Allison Spillman, at-large representative.
Kate Acuff, Jack Jewett District.
Rebecca Berlin, Whitehall.
Ellen Osborne, Scottsville District.
Leslie Pryor, Rio District.
Daphne Kaiser, Assistant Superintendent for School Community Engagement, sitting in for Dr. Haas, Superintendent.
Josiah Black, School Division Counsel.
Christine Thompson, Clerk of the School Board.
Officer, do you want to identify yourself?
Ray Lilly, Alamo County Police Department.
Thank you. Next, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll now pause for a moment of silence. Now we have approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Lee, seconded by Dr. Berlin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item of business are announcements. First of all, school board and superintendent business. Do we have
No, I don't
anything?
have anything. I was just playing with my microphone.
Playing with your microphone, huh? Okay.
All right.
Dr. Kaiser.
Good evening, Chair Acuff, Vice Chair Berlin, and school board members. I'm pleased to provide an update on ACPS summer programming, which continues to offer a wide range of learning experiences designed to support student growth and engagement across the county. Our extended school year and high school courses, our ESY programming for select special education students is still underway and will continue through next week at Lakeside Middle School. Our high school students have been participating in initial credit courses, including health and PE, and new additions this year, English 12 and Government 12. Our K-8 summer program, our largest offering, the K-8 summer program, was redesigned this year to fit the shortened break and delivered over 2 weeks with extended daily hours. Approximately 900 students attended for at least 1 week, consistent with last year's participation. The Office of Instruction developed structured grade-level lesson plans for all K-8 classes, including a new Algebra Bridge curriculum aligned with the Bellwether recommendations to promote continuity and readiness. Lessons were interdisciplinary, incorporating hands-on science, art integration, and social studies connections. Initial teacher feedback has been positive, with most citing the clarity, relevance, and helpfulness of the provided materials. We are grateful to families, educators, and administrators who supported this effort, and we look forward to refining the model using feedback and fall performance data. Our Star Hill Pathways program, which is a collaboration with the Center for Community Partnerships at UVA, provides college exploration, tutoring, mentoring, and other support to our students. These students are rising 7th graders through 11th, and they provide support through high school graduation. We had 269 students in grades 7 through 11 that participated in this year's Star Hill Pathways, with 192 from ACPS. 74% of the students are first generation, college bound, and 44% multilingual. Rising 7th through 9th graders spent 2 weeks on the UVA campus exploring career pathways and participating in wellness and college readiness programming. And this was free of cost, with transportation provided by ACPS. Our career exploration was led by partners including Computers for Kids, UVA Data Science, Charlottesville Ballet, Morven Farm, and many more community partners. Rising 10th graders are completing paid internships through CAYUP, which is the Community Attention Youth Internship Program, gaining hands-on experience at local businesses. And rising 11th graders are engaged in college prep activities, residential programs, jobs, and campus visits aligned with their career goals. The M-Cubed Academy, M-Cubed Math, Men, and Mission Summer Academy took place June 16th through the 27th at Journey Middle School. The program supports algebra readiness for African American males and integrates academic, social, and leadership development. And you'll hear more about M-Cubed during tonight's Spotlight on Education. Now in its 16th year, the NSBE, National Society of Black Engineers, NSBE Junior Pre-College Initiative Summer Academy is a long-standing collaboration between ACPS and UVA. The program engages students of all backgrounds in STEM learning, engineering, and leadership development over an intensive 8-week summer experience. The team this year would like to invite the school board members to the culminating student showcase on July 31st from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the UVA Rice Hall, room 130. So those are all of our instructional updates. At this time, I'd like to do recognition of our student achievements. This evening, I'm honored to recognize several remarkable student achievements that exemplify the excellence, determination, and teamwork we see across Albemarle County Public Schools. First, we celebrate Neil Handa, who recently completed 8th grade at Henley Middle School. In June, Neil was named the first place winner in the 2025 National Civics B Virginia State Finals that was held in Williamsburg. The National Civics B challenges middle school students to deepen their knowledge of civics, sharpen their critical thinking, and engage thoughtfully in exploring how they can help improve their communities. After winning a regional competition, Neil advanced to the state finals, where he participated in multiple rounds of civic questions, presented his essay about the effects of excessive screen time on children's brains, and shared his ideas for helping students understand the risks and make healthier choices. His preparation, poise, and commitment to making a difference earned him Virginia's top honor. This November, he will compete at the national level in Washington, D.C. We commend Neil for this impressive accomplishment and for representing Henley and our division with such distinction. We also want to recognize that Neil is here tonight with his parents, Samir and Savita, along with his civics teacher, Pam Corey. If you would please stand. And Ms. Corey encouraged Neil to take part in the Civics Bee and helped ignite his interest in making a positive impact on his community. And so we thank you all for joining us this evening. Also, in June, 2 Western Albemarle High School teams brought home state championships. On June 11th, the Western Albemarle girls soccer team captured the VHSL Class 3 state championship, completing a remarkable playoff run without conceding a single goal. After 2 consecutive years as state runner-ups, the team was determined to finish on top. In the championship game, goals by Chloe Gates and Sadie Bruton, along with a steadfast defensive performance led by goalkeeper Casey Walker, and the Warriors' back line secured a 2-0 victory and the program's first state title in 4 years. The team was led by head coach Christy Bronston and assistant coach Eric Meyer. That same day, the Western Albemarle girls lacrosse team claimed their 3rd consecutive VHSL Class 4 state championship. Facing a strong Rockbridge team, the Warriors broke open a close game with a second quarter surge. Goaltender Maisie McCarthy anchored the defense, while Annie Olson led the offense with 5 goals. Senior Gigi Hathaway added 4 goals as Western earned a 14-4 win, capping an extraordinary season in which the team lost only 1 game. The team was led by head coach Peggy Williams and assistant coach Jordan Dudley. 4 Western Albemarle High School lacrosse players are here tonight. Gigi Hathaway, Maisie McCarthy, Ann Halson, and Millie Weggert, along with their principal, Jen Sublett. If you would please stand. These accomplishments reflect not only the talent of our students, but also their resilience, commitment, and sportsmanship. On behalf of the school board and the superintendent's cabinet, we extend our heartfelt congratulations to Neil Handa and the Western Albemarle girls soccer and lacrosse teams, and the dedicated coaches, teachers, and families who support them every step of the way. So again, congratulations to all of our students. And I think we have one additional announcement,
Okay.
Dr. Acuff, from Ms. Smith.
Yeah, I just have a business item, and this is not good news compared to all that exciting thing. I just wanted to give an update on federal funding. As you know, the bulk of our funding is both local and state, but we do have a small percentage that's federal. You've probably seen the headlines around some of the Department of Education cuts. So unfortunately, with the exception of Title I Part A, federal funding for the remaining title programs are being impounded or withheld from states. This funding typically flows through state agencies to local school divisions such as ours. And the VDOE informed us last month that they were only planning to review and approve the Title I Part 8 grants per usual, so they would not be reviewing the remaining title program allocations. So that's Title 1C for migrant education, Title 2A for professional development, and 3 and 4, there's more than that. So what that means for us is that this impacts our budget by about $660,000. It's about 6 FTEs. The programs we typically apply for support migrant education, English learners, and teacher professional development, including some of our instructional coach positions. We also transfer some of the money for some intervention funding. It's our goal to maintain these programs or filled positions. We knew that this was a possibility, and so we're enacting our contingency plans, which include utilizing some budgeted contingency staffing. We hold back some staffing that we typically release for other needs. We'll be using that. We'll be increasing our reimbursement requests for Title I. And we'll also be increasing the central office. As you know, we're increasing the central office freeze pool, so we're freezing positions there, just taking advantage of some vacancies that we will not fill. At this point, because there's such uncertainty in federal funding in general, we are not planning on touching we have a Federal Reserve, Federal Revenue Contingency Fund, and so that is not touched yet because there just remains a lot of uncertainty.
Thank you, Ms. Schmidt. And it was a downer after Dr. Kaiser's accolades for our students. I just want to say on behalf of the entire school board, I really congratulate our student scholars and our student athletes. You're the reason that we do this work. So bravo. And I think Dr. Kaiser may have a second career as a sports announcer. I think she did a really good job with that. But with that, thank you. Is there any other school board business? With that, then, we move on to the spotlight on education.
All right, I'm up again. Good evening again, Chair Acuff, Vice Chair Berlin, and members of the school board. It's a privilege to shine tonight's spotlight on education on a program that exemplifies the power of mentorship, academic rigor, and culturally affirming education. M-Cubed Academy, supported by the 100 Black Men of Central Virginia. The mission of the 100 Black Men of Central Virginia is to improve the quality of life in our community by closing the achievement gap for African American male students through meaningful mentorship and leadership. This summer, their impact has been powerfully evident through their support of scholars from Albemarle County Public Schools participating in the 2025 M-Cubed Summer Academy. M-Cubed, standing for Math, Men, and Mission, is a bold initiative designed to increase the number of African American male students who enroll in and complete algebra while in middle school. The Academy offers more than just academic enrichment. It builds social and emotional intelligence, cultivates leadership, and nurtures confidence, all within an engaging, affirming, and intellectually stimulating environment. The M-Cubed Summer Academy is rooted in a core belief. When learning is grounded in real-world challenges and culturally relevant content, it becomes meaningful, transformative, and enduring. Through this lens, M-Cubed fosters not only academic readiness, particularly in algebra, but also cultivates self-advocacy and agency in every scholar. In addition to its summer component, M-Cubed's year-round programming continues to provide safe, identity-affirming spaces where African American males are empowered to strive, excel, and lead. We are honored to be joined this evening by several individuals who bring this powerful mission to life. We have Mr. James Watson, president of 100 Black Men of Central Virginia. And we have Dr. Pamela Venable, M-Cubed program coordinator and educator at Walton Middle School. And along with several exceptional scholars, Ja'Cory and Amari Keys, Tristan Holland, and Jude Dickerson. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Watson, Dr. Venable, our M-Cubed scholars, and special guests to come forward and share more about the transformative experiences and outcomes of the 2025 M-Cubed Summer Academy.
We'll talk about that. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us. Like Dr. Kaiser said, my name is Pamela Venable, and I am an educator at Walton Middle School. The presentation that you have in front of you is just for your perusal, for you to read at any other time. I just wanted to make a general comment, and then I want to turn this session over to the young people that participated in the summer program, because they are the reason that we're here, right? With that said, there was one young man, speaking to the mic. Okay, and there's one young man, Jude Dickerson, he could not be here, and He's shared an email with me to share with you guys, and I've asked Xavier Watson, another one of our participants, to be a part of the conversation. But as Dr. Kaiser noted, we had an awesome summer program, and some of the things that the students engaged in, other than the academics, was we had a Juneteenth cookout, we visited Ivy Creek Farm. There were a lot of hands-on art and math activities as a participation point for that day. The Kente scarves, the Juneteenth flags, identifying with their heritage and their culture. We had STEM labs. Mr. Trey Barlow did an awesome job with the STEM labs with our students, as well as we had book talks. And again, Miss Barnes, Lanika Barnes, I want to say Lanika, I know she's a science teacher at Albemarle High School, right? She does the literacy piece for us. Just amazing book selection. We had book talks. We had challenges for both literacy and math. And then we had some amazing presenters to present to our scholars. Mary Coleman of the Red Cross came in and shared about blood donation and the misconceptions and myths that are tied to donating blood, and then sickle cell awareness. Michael Carter of Carter Farms, if you've never heard of Carter Farms, you got to check it out. Very unique farming methodology, Black Farmer. He shared with our young people. Mr. Darrell Rose, African drumming sensation, he came and he spent several hours with us during our Juneteenth celebration. Dr. Shahid Muhammad, out of Chicago, Illinois, he's called the Math Doctor, Google him. It was just an amazing presentation, and he clarified and brought home to our young men the fact that math is in everything. Life, death, everything that you do there, you can find math in it. And then we had Dr. Gomez, Jose Gomez, a retired structural engineer that has been coming for years and sharing with our young men. Ms. Deja Pascal of We Grow shared her business and then the idea of entrepreneurship, as well as a contingency. We had Community Day, and I'm going to let these guys tell you about it. We had Community Day where they met community leaders that came in and shared their experiences and who they were with our scholars, right? So this is for you guys. The other thing that I'm going to share, and then I'm going to call them up to share with you, these young men, the comments from Jude Dickerson, and this is me reading for him. Good evening, my name is Jude Dickerson, and I am a rising fifth grader at Mountain View Elementary School. I had a great experience at MCube this summer. We did a lot of things, such as math challenges and literacy practice, that I think will help me in my fifth grade year. We also read 2 books, one called I Am Every Good Thing and The Holler of the Fireflies. I think I Am Every Good Thing is a good confidence booster for young Black boys like me. My teacher this summer was Mrs. Muhammad, and she taught us about Black mathematicians like Benjamin Banneker, and she also taught us about the order of operations in math. Once again, I think that this will really help me next year and in the future. I would like to thank the 100 Black men of Central Virginia for having MCube, and I am looking forward to participating next year. Next up, I'd like to ask Ja'Cory Keys and his brother Amari to come. And Ja'Cory is a rising 7th grader. Right, Ja'Cory, I got it right? Yes. Yeah, I got it right. And his younger brother, his first time this year, is a rising 5th grader. But Ja'Cory is going to come and share.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ja'Cory Keys, and I'm a rising 7th grader at Lakeside Middle School. This was my 3rd year attending the M-Cubed Academy, and my experience at it was great. This academy made me feel welcome, and even though you do a lot of math in the academy, you do a lot of fun stuff, like building rubber band cars in STEM. You also get to flip water bottles and solve proportions to see how much milliliters is the best for flipping. The academy helped me, they made me feel welcome, and it impacted my education a lot. and it also impacted me becoming a better person. It made me feel confident and prepared me for next year. And to this year, my brother Amari Keys got to attend the academy, and I'm glad that he gets to experience the same stuff that I experienced for the last 3 years. And yeah, that's all I have.
And this is Amari.
I don't know if you learned to be poised in your time at M Cubed, or you came with it naturally, but you did a lovely job.
Yes, he did. Amazing, right?
Yeah.
My first year at M Cube, Ja'Cory, it was my first year and his first year. We were together, and he was shy, kind of like his brother is right now. And so for him to come before you all tonight is like, yeah, that's the impact. And so what I'd like to do is do the order and then just let them flow. So next up, we're going to have, let's see, Tristan Holland, and then following Tristan, we're going to have Xavier Watson, right? The two young men, yes. And then when the young men are no longer participants in the classroom, they age out, but they come back and they give their time and practice leadership. And previous summers, we called them TAs, teachers assistants, but this summer we switched it up, and they're coaches, they're instructional coaches, they're coaches, and so they're coaching and modeling for the young men that are part of the program, right? And so we have two young men with us tonight, Dalen and Bradley. They've been with the program as a participant, and now they're coaches, or they were coaches, and I'm going to ask our president to wrap us out, right? In that order? Y'all ready?
And any of the speakers were not scary, I promise.
Hello, my name is Tristan Holland, and I'm a rising 7th grader going to Burley Middle School. And I really liked M Cubed for my first year because not only did it teach me a lot of math, it taught me how to communicate with all my friends. And really, I learned a lot of things that can really prepare me for 7th grade. And my teachers were great, especially my coaches. They really inspired me to do things when I get older. And I'm ready to participate this camp for next year.
Outstanding, thank you.
Good job.
Xavier, you're right, sir? Yes.
Speak from the heart.
On the fly. Speak from the heart.
My name is Xavier Watson. I'm a rising 6th grader. I'm going to Walker Upper Elementary School. So I'm in the Charlottesville City Schools.
What'd you do with Mr. Barnes? What'd you learn with Mr. Barnes?
I was in Mr. Barnes' class this year, and we built stadiums out of cardboard, and we made like Juneteenth flags for Juneteenth, and then we did a field trip to this farm, and we shared our flags, and then we had like a tour guide, and we also learned about PEMDAS and fractions in Mr. Barnes' class, and FOIL, I think.
You know what that stands for?
No.
You will if you go back next year. Yeah. Thank you.
My name is Dalen. I'm a teacher assistant or a coach at M Cubed. I just wrapped up my 5th year there with the program. Being a student at M Cubed has taught me to try my hardest academically, and I've looked forward to every single year, especially being a student. And being a coach has really taught me to, have a voice, and it's taught me leadership and to, really look out for my little brother this year at M Cubed. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Bradley Smith. I'm also a coach. It's my rising senior year at Albemarle. I'm gonna get a little sad with y'all. When my parents separated, I was kind of lost. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was really angry at the world. But kind of what got me back on track was one of my teachers, Miss Muhammad at M Cubed, actually, along with Is he back here? There he is, Mr. Sparks. They really helped guide me and set me on a better path for my life than where I was going.
Amazing. Thank you.
Outstanding.
Thank you for sharing.
Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Doing great.
My name is James Watson. I'm the president of the 100 Black Men of Central Virginia. I thank you all so much for being so greatly supportive, offering the Journey School. It's been a wonderful building. The first year we had to figure out the ins and outs. We had the lab school, which was also offered up by you also. We appreciate that as well. I'm the president of the 100 Black Men, but I'm also a longtime community member. I'm also a parent. Xavier's my son. I've got a daughter that already went through the schools in the city. Dr. Kaiser was her principal many years ago. And, one of the things I love about this opportunity is it actually brings the city and the county together, right? There's not a lot of times around here where kids get to be in an academic space, not on a football field or a basketball court, but a time where they all come together. And it's a very diverse mix, right? Because you have kids from the rural parts of Albemarle County, you have kids from the city, you have kids from Cherry Avenue. Everybody's in one place for that 2 weeks. And it's kind of like an experiment to some degree because it really forces everybody to kind of figure it out, how to get along, how to meet, somebody from a totally different part, totally different background. And the beauty of that too is we have the coaches, right? They've been around. We have some young men that have been part of the program for 7 and 8 years. We have college students that come back. I mean, it's really phenomenal. Now, one of the things, so the neighborhood that we live in is actually a hybrid neighborhood. So half of the kids in my neighborhood is called Lachlan Hill. They go to county schools, and the other half go to city schools, right? So your best friend can go to Agner Hurt, and you can go to Greenbrier. And you can be 50 yards away from that other young person, right? Now, one of the things I noticed over the years is people really love Greenbrier in the city of Charlotte. They love the school, right? And they love Agner Hurt, too. And we've done a lot of work in both schools, volunteer work over the last few years. And when I look around, they are wonderful schools, but there's not one black male teacher in either one of those schools, no matter how many awards Greenbrier has won, and it deserves, but there's no black male teachers. So these young men behind me who are all superstars, chances are if they didn't spend the time in M-Cube, they would go all the way through 12th grade and never have one male teacher that looks like them. Whereas my son, who had the great Mr. Chris Barnes, right, this summer, has already had a couple of black male teachers, and a STEM teacher as well, Mr. Barlow. So, I mean, they're really getting a magnificent experience. I went to the 100 Black Men National Conference a few weeks ago, and really there's nobody in this country that's doing what we're doing with this program. So it's really special. I'm proud of all these guys. I hope they do well because one day I'm gonna need to retire, so hopefully they look out for me when that time comes. But they're all incredible. Every day, there's so much to learn. And again, it's an unusual experience. It's not UVA basketball camp. It really is an academy. I've compared it to Hogwarts because the young men get to go to a place where they see people like them that are interested in the things they're interested in, and they can be themselves. And that's not always the case, in a traditional public school setting. So I thank you all for your continued support for many years. This was our 17th M-Cube, which we're an all-volunteer organization for the most part. So, I mean, it's just amazing, and I'm thankful to be a part of it. And I thank you again for your support, and y'all have a great night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions from the school board? Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Yeah, that's what
No.
I said. Do y'all have any?
I would just like to ask the youngest student if he just wanted to say hello. He didn't have to do anything else, but we would love to hear his voice.
Hello, my name is Amara Keys. I go to Baker Butler Elementary School, and then when I'm in 6th grade, just like my brother Jacory, I'll be in the same school he is in, Lakeside. I'm 10 years old, and I like math and stuff. And I feel like this academy is very good for me because I learned a lot of new stuff and old stuff that I might have forgotten. And there was a lot of cool stuff I did, like make a boathouse or create things with Legos or make a rubber band car just like my brother. So overall, I feel thankful that I was invited to this academy.
Outstanding, thank you.
It's not shy at all.
Very good.
I'm going to have to challenge you on a rubber band car sometime. I won a physics award 1,000,000 years ago for my rubber band car, so I'm going to challenge you guys. Maybe I'll come next summer and you can show me.
Did you have any other questions?
Just a comment.
Okay.
It seems that your students, the members of the academy, learn a lot more than math.
They do. We have Circle of Brothers, and I shared, it's called the Magic Movie, that one of our administrative workers put together, and it's a series of pictures. I shared it, and maybe Dr. Kaiser, you could share it with them. It's just a bunch of pictures, or a series of pictures of some of the events or some of the things that we did together during our Circle of Brothers. At the end of the day, we have a teacher. Let's see, Mr. Smith is Monticello. There we go. Brain freeze. He led our Circle of Brothers, and the Circle of Brothers is a time where they come together and they have a conversation about their day. They learn team building skills. They learn how to have a conversation, and they share out. But they also have an opportunity to write. What I read to you guys from Jude Dickerson is what he wrote. It's not something that we put together. And then they do literacy challenges where they're required to. Then this summer, they worked in teams. We did a count-off, and so it was mixed groups. And the math challenges were created by Shantron Sims, and she's a teacher in Charlottesville City. Multi-level. It wasn't just, something simple. They had to apply the math that they were learning. And it was very realistic, real world. You're going on a vacation, you have enough gas to get to A, B, and C, but oh, wait a minute, your gas budget is reduced by 20%. How much money do you have? How much gas can you buy? And of these places, which one can you get to, right? And then it had opportunities to team build. And during our lunch and learn, that's when our speakers would come in and we would have conversations about being a listener and then asking questions. And a lot of times they would write their questions before the speaker would come. So again, we could have a conversation. And so they had incentives. Some of the opportunities they were given incentives for, and then other ones it was just a conversation. I thought it was pretty awesome. During Community Day, we had community leaders from all walks of life, young, more mature, I'm not gonna call them old, right? Because, seasoned, right? People from all, young men, black men from just different fields, and the young men had an opportunity to sit down and have a meal and have conversations. And it wasn't, after they introduced themselves, they had conversations, so learning how to speak and engage in a conversation. And then our closing ceremony is held at the Doubletree. Again, sometimes our young people, and I found this to be true just speaking to one of the young people that worked as an administrative assistant, a young lady. She was 18 years old and she had never been to Kings Dominion. She has never traveled outside of the state of Virginia, outside of 50 miles away from home, and she's in college now. But sometimes they don't have opportunities to go out and do fine dining, sit at a table with a tablecloth and it has silverware and a place setting. And so again, our coaches, Bradley and Dalen and all of the other young men who have been through the program, they sit with their scholars and they school them, they model for them, they assist them with, here's how you do this. So it's important, that social piece, because a lot of times our young people don't get it. And if we don't provide it, who will? Right?
Right.
Yeah, so, yes.
Thank you all so much. And thank you for the important work that you do and the partnership you have with Albemarle County Public Schools. It sounds like you're really building a network of people that will go across time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
The next item on our agenda is our public comment. Ms. Osborne?
Yes. We welcome public input at our school board meetings. To sign up to speak during the public comment period, you can do so in several ways. You can do it online. Sign up is available from 9 a.m. on the Monday of the meeting week until 2 p.m. on the meeting day. Or by phone, call the school board clerk's office to sign up until 2 p.m. on the meeting day. Or in person. You can sign up at the meeting that's available from 6 p.m. until the public comment period starts. Please note that public comment is not received at special board meetings unless specified on the agenda. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. The maximum number of groups or people that may speak at a meeting is 20. In the event there are more than 20, each speaker will be assigned a number, and numbers will be drawn to determine which will have the opportunity to speak. Those who do not have the opportunity may sign up to speak at a subsequent meeting and/or may submit written comments for the school board's consideration. Speakers should state their name, address, or voting district, address comments to the school board as a whole, limit comments to school board governance or school division operations, provide written statements and supporting material to the clerk. The school board will use a timer to track each speaker's time. Once the time is up, speakers are asked to wrap up their comments. Maintain respect. Please refrain from clapping or other audible forms of support. You may raise your hand instead. And debate with the school board is not allowed. And the projection system is for staff presentations only. Tonight, we just have one speaker, Jennifer Price.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Price. My address is 2549 Bybees Church Road, Palmyra, Virginia. I worked as a long-term substitute at Albemarle High School this spring for more than 3 months. I've also taught part-time at many colleges and universities in Virginia for more than 12 years. I'm here today to voice my opinion in opposition of the 50% grading rule in Albemarle County. This rule is harmful to student motivation. Many of my students chose not to participate in some assignments because they knew that missing several assignments would have a minimal effect on their grades. Some avoided assignments that built specific skills that they disliked, and some avoided learning topics that were not their favorites. Some did well in the first half of the class and then avoided doing anything at all later in the later half of the course. Others picked the easiest assignments and avoided doing anything challenging. This rule makes it easy for students to pass a class while only mastering or even attempting a few of many topics that are covered in the course. It discourages student participation and reduces learning. It is particularly harmful when students take sequential courses that build upon previous coursework. If a student takes Algebra 1 and doesn't learn the concepts from the second half of the class, they're not prepared for the work in Algebra 2. Virginia was recently ranked last in the nation for COVID recovery and math scores, meaning that we are further behind where we were in 2019 than any other state or District of Columbia. In reading, we ranked 41st out of 51 states. There's no doubt in my mind that the implementation of a 50% rule in many districts and our slowness to implement and enforce cell phone restrictions have played a part in our poor response to the COVID crisis. Students are also coming to college less and less prepared for rigorous academic work, and I'm sure that low expectations in high school have been a contributing factor to this phenomenon. The 50% rule also hurts students who plan to enter the workforce right after high school. If they're not used to meeting the expectations from a teacher, they may not be disciplined enough to complete all important tasks on the job. Employers are now often hesitant to hire young people due to consistent declines in motivation and job performance in the younger generations. Teacher turnover is high and morale has been low since the pandemic. The number one complaint I heard from other teachers at Albemarle was regarding this rule and its effect on motivation. I'm taking a high school teaching position next year in a district that does not use this rule. Let's do our teachers and students a favor and raise our standards by eliminating this damaging practice. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment.
Thank you, Ms. Osborne. Next on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
I would actually like to pull 6.3 for further discussion outside of this meeting. I have concerns over spending close to $6 million over 9 years, but also it's committing to our center model for the next 9 years, and I would like to further discuss that before we finalize this.
Okay. Ms. Schmidt, what is the timetable for the lease?
So, the lease is set to expire July 31st of this month, so you don't have another meeting before that lease expires. Now, the lease itself, I'll just remind, the school is a small portion of it. It's our entire technology department and child nutrition and EDP offices as well.
Okay, so we're going to keep all of that there for the next 9 years by signing this lease.
You're committed to leasing that space.
Leasing that space for
Yeah.
$6 million for the next 9 years. Okay, well, I mean, I'm still opposed to it, but I mean, I don't know if it's worth pulling it, but it's a lot of money. And it would, when we're trying to do all these capital improvement projects, just, I don't know.
Anyone else? Any other comments? I mean, we need the space. We need some space. I mean, the issue is, for me, I mean, is it possible to write a shorter term lease, or these best terms we get because we're willing to sign the length of this lease? If you look at the square footage, I did the calculation, I've totally forgotten it, but, you know, the per square foot cost is pretty low. I mean, it's about $13 a foot.
I don't know that number off the top of my head.
Well,
Just as
600,000 divided by 42,000.
When we initially signed the lease back in 2016, 2018, we did a property search, and it was the best option at the time, both location and financial. So I can't speak to the square footage cost relationship.
It's just a division, yeah.
The length of the lease also matches the length of the lease we have for the building services location in the same building. Yes, we have a lot of capital needs. I would say our perpetual year 10 capital project has always been an additional administration office. It's hard to rank that above school needs. And so, but we do have a functional need for office spaces. So there's not an alternative for a lot of those people at this point, which is why we're in I agree with you. I've loved a building and capital
Sure.
and not in being leased space, but that's our reality right now.
Did we look at other options now to see if this was the best space and the best, like the most cost effective?
We did not. The space right now is working for us. We've put a lot of investment in it. We just moved building services to it.
If I may interject two brief comments. One, I was not involved in the negotiation of the lease, but it is generally true that there's a trade-off between cost and length of term. The landlord gives you more favorable terms the longer you're willing to commit. When I reviewed a draft of the lease, I noticed that it did not have very broad subleasing rights for the school division. So one change that we negotiated is to give us more flexibility. If it turned out the school board decided we wanted to go a different direction and didn't need quite as much space, we do have flexibility to sublease all or part of that space.
All right, I guess we can not pull it then.
What are the lease termination provisions if we sign this 9-year lease? Is there a way out if we decide to go a different direction?
Other than subleasing it, no. I mean,
Okay.
if the landlord is in breach, of course, we have
Right.
certain rights.
I agree it's not ideal space, but we've not been able, as Ms. Schmidt noted, we've not been able to get the financing to build another structure or expand spaces for these other functions. And the space is pretty heavily utilized beyond the center, the student part as well. So,
Ms. Schmidt, do you know what percentage of the space covered by this lease is occupied by Center One versus used for other purposes?
I don't know off the top of my head. When I said a small portion, I was combining the building services, which is a separate lease from this. I don't know either.
I mean, it's in here as extending the lease for Center One, for the ACE Academy, right? So.
Yeah, we
I mean,
refer to that whole complex that
Yeah.
way, but it's our entire technology department, our PD spaces, those 2 large meeting rooms, and then on the first floor, it's child nutrition and EDP as well. I don't know the square footage off the top of my
the
head.
total square footage is, 42,000
Yeah, and
for
what
the whole,
portion is the
whole
school?
part.
And I would say if for whatever reason we don't use it for a school, I think there's other needs of space too, so.
We could
That
get
just
rid
seems
of,
like a lot
we
of
could get
money.
rid of a lot of trailers, perhaps, that we use for other functions. So, Ms. Spillman, do you withdraw your
Begrudgingly, yes.
Noted. All those in favor then of approval of the consent agenda?
Dr. Acuff,
Pardon?
we need a second.
Need a second?
We had a motion by Ms. Lee.
We need a second.
We do need a second.
Second.
Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Motion made by Ms. Lee, seconded by Ms. Osborne. Do we need a roll call for this?
I think a voice would be fine.
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
Voice vote? All those in favor? Even reluctantly?
Yes.
All those opposed?
No.
Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you for raising the issue. The next item of business, we have a break on the agenda. Do we want to take a 10-minute break, or shall we charge ahead and get out early?
I'd like to go. I like that second thing.
Pardon?
I'm for going forward, but.
That's fine.
Let's go forward. Let's charge ahead. Then the next item on on our agenda is an update from Ms. Jamie Gellner about our transportation department.
Get situated. Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Good, thank you.
I'm Jamie Gellner, the Director of Transportation. Here's our agenda for tonight. We'll talk a little bit about our connection to the strategic plan, where we're at, I'll give a hiring update, and take your questions. Our employees, thank you, Josh. Our employees connect strongly to the mission of ACPS, particularly to know every student. You can see us primarily in Goal 3, Equitable Transformative Resources, ensuring transportation for students who require bus service to attend school. One of the strategies under Goal 3 is to remove transportation as a barrier to any division programs. We support our guaranteed field trips, our expansion of the studios, and we have supported our TSI schools with almost everything that they asked for this year, including additional vans, removing stacked routes, and adding buses for after-school or weekend clubs or tutoring. We had 4 major department areas of focus this school year. I'm not going to read you my whole department plan, but I did spend the last 6 years in strategic planning, and we spent a lot of time on it. We looked at retention, our Gallup goal, which focused on creating a positive culture, a goal around our special needs students, and a goal around student management. We met and far exceeded all of our goals thanks to a strong and dedicated team. I want to highlight our retention and Gallup goals. This school year, we hired for almost 70 positions, including 22 just in the building. This department was severely understaffed before I arrived, And you heard a lot about the driver shortage, but we didn't have the staff to run the operations. I'm really proud of the team that we put together this year, and we focused a lot of energy in retaining our new driving staff. In the 23-24 school year, the department had a 40% retention rate, probably because the rest of the building was short-staffed and they didn't receive support, and because bus drivers have a really hard job. In the 24-25 school year, we hoped to retain 80% of our new hires, and we ended up retaining about 85% of our new school bus drivers. Our second goal was around improving our team culture, specifically to increase engagement as measured by the Gallup survey. We were the worst department in the division last year, with a ratio of engaged employees to non-engaged employees of 1.8 to 1. And the school division itself as a whole currently has a rate of 3.82 to 1. And my department sits at 7.4 to 1, which is almost double the division ratio, and I'm very proud of that. I wanted to publicly recognize our Employees of the Year. Our administrative staff nominates the employees for the awards, and the department votes on the MVP award. Lisa Minter won for being the staff member who hired all of these folks I just told you about. She handles the onboarding, physicals, drug testing, interviewing, and all of the other paperwork associated with getting people started, and we kept her really busy. Mark Van Petten is our staff member of the year and handles all of our field trips in the department, which has expanded greatly over the years with all of our guaranteed field trips. Dietrich Keys is a lead driver at Greer Elementary and is consistently positive, engaged in our department. Of note this school year, she contacted me one evening about a middle school student who had left a suicide note on the bus, and we were able to work with Miles Nelson and his team to locate that student and make sure that she was safe that evening, and she just goes above and beyond. Stephen Badler is our bus driver of the year, and he won for his consistency, driving record, and attendance. He's on our Agner team. Diane Kreitzer has served for over 33 years in the division as ATS bus driver, and she retired as a van driver. She was our van driver of the year. Tanya Tyree is our assistant of the year and works tirelessly to ensure her kids are taken care of, and she's on our Hollymead team. Bill Morse, you met him earlier this year. He was already recognized as the division's classified employee of the year. And second to the left there is Eric Turner. He's our lead bus driver at Murray Elementary, and he won second in the state at the state rodeo competition. And they'll be giving his award out this evening at the Virginia Pupil Transportation Conference in Richmond. So up there we have our two trainers. That's Don Euler, and then that's Eric Turner, Jennifer Green, and then Kevin Anstein. And Kevin Anstein took me out this month driving around on the bus. I do have my CDL, but I haven't driven in a while. So if you see something weird next year, it's probably me. I'm going to highlight a couple of initiatives. We did a lot this year. There's a few things on here that we did this year, and there's a few things that are coming that I just wanted to brief you about. One of the first things that I heard from drivers is that student management is a challenge, particularly the afternoon supervision requirement. This school year, we started using a numbered system to match up families with their elementary students in the afternoon, and that helped a lot with language barriers and with getting students unloaded more quickly in the afternoon. So we are going to continue that this year. I also want to highlight that we started a partnership with Post High and had 3 students work at transportation during the middle of the day once a week. We're proud to support our students with their learning, as well as taking them to school, and it was really great to have them in the building with us. One student worked in the office. She was just lovely, Mia. One worked in the maintenance shop, and one helped as an additional assistant on a school bus. This summer, we're going to update our routing software. We're running 2 databases to Open School. It's been a lot of work, but eventually down the line, when we have full implementation, we will pilot a new feature, which is a parent app. And hopefully in the 25-26 school year, parents will be able to track the bus to see where their children are, just like if you're riding in an Uber. We consolidated all of the fleet vehicles across the division under our budget, and we're going to take on the repair and maintenance cost. We decided it's probably not a good idea to not still include the schools and departments on how we utilize those things. So we started a fleet advisory team that consists of administrators, department staff, and transportation staff to advise on the use of the resources that we have based on utilization data and to recommend proposals for purchasing vehicles. One thing that I wanted you to be aware of, you'll hear from the local government, but the local government is expanding their speed zone cameras to the Brownsville, Henley, and Western campuses starting this school year. And we welcome any additional support that keeps our students safe to and from school, and we thank them for their partnership. We are also partnering with local government and Altimint to add 10 stop arm cameras to our buses, which will allow us to ticket any driver who passes a stop school bus on those buses anyway. And finally, my fleet manager, Dan, and our whole staff, we want to say thank you for supporting us via the CIP. We were able to order 27 buses with the money you allocated, and they'll be arriving over the next 12 to 18 months. So thank you. So current recruitment efforts. This is where we were last year. We have much better news. We had a job fair today, and we will be making 3 offers to assistants and 2 bus drivers that came to the county office building. So that was really great turnout because we really needed some assistance. It's hard to talk about staffing without getting into the weeds on our operations, so I'm not going to do that. But I wanted to highlight that in 2019, before COVID, the department did have about 229 employees in total in the department. And with all of the hiring that we've done in the past 12 months and counting everybody we currently have in training, we have about 214 employees. So we're getting closer to being back to where we once were. But with each additional hire, we can provide better service to our students by cutting down route time, alleviating extremely full buses, not having to do those stacked routes and things like that. So we still have work to do to continuously improve, particularly with our on-time arrivals, but we are looking pretty good with drivers. We're still seeing a lot of openings for assistance on our special needs buses, and we've seen increases in transportation needs for special services in the past few years, not only for students with special needs, but for students in special circumstances, like foster care or who are unhoused. And they can be placed all over the county while their school might not be close by. Similarly, many specialty schools have wait lists who are taking students farther and farther away to attend schools, and we're driving farther and farther away to support those students. So it's just something for the board to be aware of. We anticipate having about 3 to 5 assistant positions open. It really depends how everything shakes out. We'll be able to cover that with our building staff. We will be able to unstack all of the routes across the division that we had to start last school year, and we will be able to add some buses to schools who are at capacity on their current buses. So what I mean by that is, like Woodbrook, for example, we anticipate adding another bus there so that there's not so many kids on each bus. It helps with student management, and it helps bus drivers want to stay here and keep working here. It also gives a little bit shorter ride for them. So I'm going to work closely with Rosalind to monitor our budget as we grow. You gave me 219 FTE this year, and I'm currently at 214. So we'll keep a watch on it. I thank you for the time this evening. I'm excited to share the news of our department, and I really did want to publicly thank my deputy director, William Shiflett. I asked him to come with me tonight. He's been with the department through all of the COVID times, the driver shortage, and I just think that, I thought a lot about accepting the job when I was offered it because it's a hard job. But I think that he and I make a really great team, and he makes really big things happen each day to keep us running. So I'm happy to report that we're in a much better place to start the school year, and I thank everybody on our hardworking and dedicated staff, and I thank the school board for making the compensation increases a priority 2 years ago so that we can get here.
I think it's really amazing what you've done since you've started it and where we were and where we are now. So first of all, job well done. It's really impressive. I have a question about our Scholar Studios, and how these improvements, there have been two complaints kind of floating around the last few years. One, getting those students back to their base schools in time for after school and extracurricular activities, and that parents had to provide transportation to the base schools in the mornings in order for them to get to the Scholar Studios. Have either of those issues been resolved with these improvements?
We meet with Katina and Megan pretty regularly, and there's things that we could do. We haven't implemented those changes yet. One of the things that we're adding next year is we're adding a couple of satellite stops that parents wanted, so there'll be more options for them to take. And we're adding a midday route and some earlier routes that we can do so kids can get back for appointments or for other things earlier instead of being late. But it is difficult the way that we do it now to get kids back for sports. The way that it's been managed mostly is on the athletics team to make sure they start practices a little bit later and things like that. But we'll keep working with them as we keep getting more drivers, we can keep improving.
And the other thing that'll change is a year from now when Center 2 opens, that will operate on a different schedule like
Right.
Center 1 operates on. So students are able to ride their bus to their base school and then shuttle to Center 2. So that'll.
And I mean, that's what I've been encouraging on the instructional side from a logistics perspective. But how it is now,
Yeah,
it will
I
still
think
continue to be difficult.
Yeah, and I think that's been a deterrent for kids wanting to sign up for some of these, is that fear of not being able to participate or being late, or, and so if we can somehow in the next year figure that out, I think we may see an increase in the number of students that participate in our Scholar Studios. And then I just wanted to give a shout out to a bus driver, since you're here. I run a summer camp and for kids with special needs, and we contracted with ACPS. I had nothing to do with it, I stayed out of it, but Catherine Gonzalez was
The Hope Initiative.
absolutely amazing, and the love and compassion she showed our kids. So if you could just pass that along from me, I would really appreciate it. She was amazing. So thank you.
I just want to say, I think the job that you have done in collaboration with William Shiflett and is transformative to the department, and kudos to you and your hard work, and all the drivers and everybody. But this has been transformed from an annual headache, waiting for the news of how many kids weren't going to get bus transportation, to something that we can be extraordinarily proud of, and I thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bravo. Next on the agenda is a presentation about communities in schools, which is a joint project, as you know, between Community and Schools of Northern Virginia, ACPS, and the Albemarle Foundation for Education. Just finished the first year in place, and we have Brennan and two of the site coordinators here tonight to give us an update. They presented to the foundation last month, and it was extraordinarily impressive, so I look forward to it tonight.
Thank you very much. I'm Patrick Brennan. I lead Communities in Schools in Northern Virginia. Grateful for the opportunity to share the work we've done for the past year, our first year in partnership with ACPS. I'll just give a little bit of a background just to give everyone up to speed of who we are and what we're doing, and then I'll hand it over to my colleagues, who I'm very grateful for them to come in July and share a little bit of their perspective from the schools that they work directly and the students they work directly with. We are, we are an affiliate that's part of a larger national network of communities and schools. We have a sort of a standardized model. It's been heavily evaluated about how to integrate student support services into schools. Basically, the secret sauce to this are the two people standing behind me. It is a full-time site coordinator in our partner schools. What that looks like here is there's 4 schools that we partner with. The 3 schools on the Lambs Lane campus, Greer, Journey, and Albemarle, and then Red Hill is the 4th one. So we have full-time staff in those 4 schools. The process is about the needs assessment, working with the school-based leadership to sort of map out a plan, an annualized plan, and then my staff works with the staff there and with students and families to achieve a certain amount of goals around set goals that they have. These are many of the faces of the people that are part of the communities and schools. We hire locally, so the people here are people, a lot of them, we were just walking into the building, and so there's just a lot of familiarity with not only the schools that they're working in, but also the community here that they live in. I have, as a structure, I have a board of directors that work with me to sort of make sure that we go out and not only promote the work that's happening in the schools and the school system, but also to generate stakeholders in the communities in which we serve. So we have a board of directors, we have a trustee council. These are people that are dedicated to our mission, which is surrounding students with the resources they need to be successful. These are the highlights for the 4 schools in which we worked in this year. Again, this is our first year. We served a little over 3,300 students with some resources that we brought into schools, and we case manage a little over 200 students across the 4 schools. The case management means that they have an individualized plan that they work with, whatever their deficiency or whatever their challenges are. It could be academic, it could be behavioral, it could be social emotional, but they set plans with our psych coordinators, and the psych coordinator is there every day working with these students. We have garnered a variety of resources. I'm very proud of how many resources we were able to sort of coordinate. This is very similar, and there's a lot of resources here in Albemarle County, and so for us to be able to sort of work with people that are already doing the very good work to make sure that they're reaching the students that need it when they need it. English language learners, and 73% of them are free and reduced lunch students that we serve. I'm going to introduce you to Savannah, who's sitting behind me. She's with Red Hill, and she'll give you a little bit of a snapshot of what this really looks like within Red Hill. Savannah.
Hi, thank you all so much for letting us present to you. I think I can speak on behalf of the whole Communities in School staff here that we are incredibly proud of the work that we've been able to do in this first year. So I am the site coordinator at Red Hill Elementary. There are a couple things that I wanted to share with you all that kind of can fill you in a little bit on the scope of the work that we do. So the first thing that I want to share that I'm really proud of is the drama club that I did. I did a drama club that served almost 50 students. We met weekly, and we did an end of the year performance that was fairy tales, fables, and folklore. So it was just a series of a few simple folk tales that you would probably recognize. But the kids had an amazing time, and I am incredibly proud of the hard work that they put in. The families and the staff at Red Hill were immensely supportive, and I really couldn't have done that without their help. We had parents volunteering to build sets and make costumes. It really made things a lot easier for me. So again, I had almost 50 students in the club itself, but we had the highest turnout of any of the family events this year, with over 100 people coming to the performance, which for a school of 200 kids is huge. So I'm really thrilled about Drama Club, and I'm looking forward to doing that again this upcoming year. The other story that I want to share with you is about this student here in my student spotlight. I got permission from her mother to use her name, but this is my good friend Greer, and she, this past year, was in 2nd grade, and I started working with Greer back in October. She was referred to me due to just needing some general emotional support. She's had severe struggles with anxiety, especially as it came to being in the classroom. She had a lot of other students who had kind of high levels of support needs in her classroom, and that was really stressful for her and very overwhelming. So when I started working with her, she was spending probably a third of the school day just doing her work in the hallway. That was kind of the deal that she and her teacher had, where when she was overwhelmed by the classroom, she would be able to go out and work in the hallway. And we didn't set a specific goal at the beginning of our time together that she would integrate back into the classroom. So we started just meeting once in the mornings at the beginning of the day when she would come in, and then right before dismissal, and just kind of have a check-in at the beginning and the end of the day. When she'd come in the mornings, sometimes she would have breakfast. We would talk about what she wanted to accomplish that day, what her goals were, how she was feeling. And then at the end of the day, we kind of check in how things went, what things we want to do differently tomorrow. We developed a really sweet relationship, and I've come to care for her so much, as I do for all of my students, but I'm very proud of the relationship that we have. And I'm also very proud to say that Greer, by the end of the school year, without it even being an intentional goal of ours, was able to entirely reintegrate into her classroom. And so by the end of the school year, she was not spending any time in the hallway. We had been working on specific ways to manage her stress. We had worked closely with her teacher on areas within the classroom that she would go if she was feeling a little bit escalated. And she was able to put all of those practices to use. And I'm so proud of the work that we did, and the work that she did, because she did it. But those two things, I think, kind of give you an idea for the whole school things that we do, such as things like drama club, but also the effect that we have on individual students. And with CIS, relationships are really the point of what we do. And we believe that communal change comes from individual change, and by taking care of those one-on-one relationships that we have with our students. Thank you.
Greer. This is Greer Elementary. This is Gabby. I know a couple of Gabby students are now going up the journey, and I can let Sonia talk about that. Please.
Good evening, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Good evening. My name is Sonia Montalvo. I am from Charlottesville, born and raised. I'm very passionate about serving the communities that I grew up in. Somebody else shared Dr. Kaiser with their principal. She was also mine. So it's really awesome to see her here. I work at Journey as a site coordinator, which I always tell people is just really cool language for saying I get to hang with some awesome kids and help them achieve their goals. So I'll share a little bit with you today about some of the things we've been able to accomplish. Oh, can you hear me now?
Better.
All right.
Before, but this is better.
Okay, good. I'm glad. So I have 45 case managed students this year. 9% of those students are English language learners, and 73% of those students qualify for free and reduced lunch. I'm really, really excited that we've all gotten to work together this year and accomplish some really cool goals. Some of those personal for them, but some of those school-wide as well. So the impact that we've had this year, and I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. Y'all are a little intimidating, but y'all all look really nice. So 84% of my case managed students actually increased their SEL assessment scores by 5 points this year. That's something that we worked really hard on this year. Social emotional learning, as far as conflict resolution, leadership skills, and things of that nature have been heavily implemented in a lot of our programming, both in school and after school. We've had 39 volunteers this year to help with our Tier 1 and Tier 2 events, as well as with tutoring. And then we've had 6 active community partnerships. And so I can share a little bit more about that as I go to my next slide. Awesome. So Bright Success is actually one of our programs, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about all of these, but tie that other stuff back in for you in a minute. So Bright Success is our academic mentorship group. You actually see 2 of our students, both their names start with a Z, so we'll say Z and Z. They actually were fundraising to raise money for their end of year field trip. And so they did that by running some of the concessions this year for Albemarle County's special needs Olympic teams. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But we got to do that this year, and the boys found that was really exciting. They raised those funds, and we actually got to go to Funland this year. So it's really exciting. Some kids have never been before. Lots of laser tag and bouncy balls. It was a really good time. We also have Girl Code, which is our weekly program for young girls. It was really awesome that my entire group this year was 6th grade, so we started together. I always tell them, we're going to grow and we're going to learn in this position together. So they got to build bonds together, create moments for sisterhood, but then also learn more about each other so that they could have each other's backs in school, hence Girl Code. You never let your friend or your girl slip, right? And so those are one of the things that we walked through the school year with, as well as Pin It Up. Pin It Up was our flagship program this year. So we've had writers, photographers, singers, songwriters. They all come together once a week. This program was actually done in partnership with Newflix. Dante Woodfalk, who is a B-based teacher at Journey Middle School. And so we did that together this year where our students came together, created weekly projects. So for instance, one of our last projects was splash photography. We had one of our students, I don't know if you can see her in the back, but she actually opened up for our Black History Month event, which is our picture down at the bottom. So all of our students in Pin It Up, also the students are part of the drama team at Journey Middle School, and some other students got to do their student performances where we had over 100 people in attendance, but Pin It Up was the group to actually spearhead those efforts where they took pictures that would mock other Black photographers or famous Black photographers to show around the school. I'm really, really excited that we've been able to engage over 300 families in Tier 1 events this year. That's just been really awesome. So below you actually see that picture from our Black History Month. But we also had, I don't know if you can see these pictures here on your screens, but this is from our SOL Celebration Block Party. So to get students excited about SOLs this year, we called out several different partnerships and had families come out, get to have a good time. We partnered with Nick Feggins from the Boys and Girls Club, Central Virginia Violence Interrupters, YMCA, and the Music Resource Center, and they all came out to be able to share about their programs just to allow families to see what we have to offer. In that program, we had over 100 families attend, and so it was just an awesome experience. I actually don't have a specific student spotlight, but I have a short video where my students kind of share what their favorite thing about CIS was this year. Please bear with them as they are brutally honest, and sound quality is not the greatest. Hopefully, you can see that. Do I? Oh, it's not gonna, is it gonna play? I hope. Maybe not. But if you all would like to watch it, I have an abbreviated version on that PowerPoint slide for you all. But then I also have my Instagram available for you as well. So the full video is there along with some other things. You get to see some of the cool things my students did this year. So thank you guys so much for letting me share.
Thank you.
Albemarle High School, this is the fourth high school and the fourth school that we're involved in this year in ACPS. We actually have 2 site coordinators there because obviously the size of it, which is very typical for our partnerships with high schools. Ashia and Liz are great, and they really sort of attract and complement each other in terms of the students that they bring in. I know one of the highlights that they wanted to make sure I shared with you was having a student who came in the middle of the year. I think a lot of people don't realize how many students actually come in the middle of a school year, and to really integrate them into a school can be very difficult. And so they were sort of tasked to make sure that this gentleman, I think they might be in here. Yeah, here he is. Taylor was made sure that he was, not only sort of oriented to the building, but also to find out what his needs and his likes are, to be able to get him into, I think it was an all-male support group, and he's thriving, and he's looking forward to next year. So they have done a really good job of complementing each other and creating a wide range of SEL and career college panels and workshops for the students, FAFSA, all sorts of different ways for them to make sure that they're thinking about the next stage beyond high school. And these are a variety of our partners that we've been working with. Again, a lot of these partners have already been in our part of your school, and a part of your community. I'm sure you recognize a lot of them. We're not here to reinvent the wheel. We're here to make sure that those resources reach the kids that need it. the most and in a timely way. And so we're really excited about year 2 coming in. I did get confirmation that both Sonia and Savannah are coming back. They're very excited about coming back. And so I only anticipate us being able to reach more students and engage with more families next year. Any questions?
Outstanding.
I was just going to say thank you for all the work the CISs you and all of them have been doing. I think everything is impressive, but particularly the parent connections. I mean, particularly in middle school. I mean, you kind of parent engagement. It goes up in elementary school and dips in middle school, and for some families does actually go back up in high school. But I mean, having 300 family members coming to something is just a huge thing with everything parents have on their plate. And I also love the drama. We know oftentimes students don't have the opportunity to do drama until high school, and the fact that you've gotten them started early, I think, really is important, and allowing them to see those outlets that we are not able to provide in a kind of traditional school structure, because the resources aren't there, even though we would all love to have much more arts in elementary school, but the funding hasn't been there, so for you to be able to bring those, so appreciate all that work.
I'm curious where we are on the fundraising for CIS. Do we have an update? I don't know if that's from you guys or from...
Well, we are hiring an executive director that should be in place certainly by September.
When we say we, the foundation.
The foundation.
The Albemarle Foundation.
Right, I'm sorry.
Is
Right,
very
so under the model, we are partnering with ACPS. The foundation and ACPS are partnering to provide half of the funding. We have a matching grant from CIS Nova for these first 3 years. And I feel confident the foundation can do its part. So, and I think the more success we see, the easier it will be. I mean, the real, from my perspective, the strength of CIS and the fact that it's evidence-based and you see improvements in achievement, in attendance, and a whole range of metrics will help us enormously in our fundraising efforts. Rebecca, Dr. Berlin and I are both on the foundation board, so we've been busy working to strengthen that. But having this partnership, I think, will benefit the whole project.
There's also an opportunity for us to apply for a grant
Right.
through the Virginia Community Schools Grant application. So we will be applying for that, and a possibility of upwards of $250,000 if we receive the grant. We will be aggressively fundraising this fall with the new executive director coming on board. That is the top priority.
Right.
To secure the funding. We've done some preliminary talks with funders and understand there is interest in communities and schools and expanding the programming, the model for the division. So once we get our ED on board, we'll really go to work and focus in on fundraising. We will secure the funding for the model.
So the expansion into other schools is contingent upon that fundraising. We don't have a plan for expansion into any of our other schools until...
Right. I mean, I think because we're interested in the results from this pilot, that will be the foundation for a decision to expand. But there's certainly other schools that would benefit from this.
Yeah, it's been my experience working with school systems. Dr. Kaiser, you mentioned the sort of the community, this community schools fund that was established through VDOE. The metrics in the model in which they're basing those awards on is the CIS model. I mean, they literally have the language in there about communities and schools model. So having 1 year in and having, showing an investment of ACPS in it was also, it's able to go after not only more public dollars, but also to go after other grants and other private dollars. So it will start to, my experience is it really does pick up, and I'm confident also.
And Dr. Kaiser, I also want to thank you for the frequent updates and reports that we get. I'm sure they come from all of you, so thank you too. It really helps us keep an eye on what's going on and all the progress that's been made. So thank you very much for those.
I'd like to echo that. I mean, not only is it evidence-based, but you have wonderful information about the whole program, the qualitative and the quantitative impacts that you're having. I want to thank both of our coordinators. I know you're really off for the summer, but thank you very much for coming tonight. Do we have any other comments or questions? Thank you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is there any other business?
I actually have a report from one of my committees that I'm on. I'm on the TJ ACE Advisory Board. I got a message today from the director, and this also is kind of depressing because it involves the federal funds, but they are 70% funded by the feds, and we are in danger of losing services for 900 adult learners in our region due to the impoundment of federal funds. So we're nearing crisis level here. So, and these are parents of our students.
Yeah.
Some of these are parents of our students. So anyway, just an update on the TJ ACE Advisory Board. It's not
What is
great.
that in dollars, Ellen? What is that in dollars? I'm sorry if you said that. I missed.
I'm not sure.
I actually have a question that's tangential to that I should have asked earlier on the funding. How do these Medicaid cuts affect our schools? Because I imagine that we get a lot of money from Medicaid for our students and SNAP benefits, and those are being cut.
Medicaid, to be determined. I think it's, I'll get you some information about how much reimbursements we do receive. I think the impact of that is still hard to articulate. SNAP, that's worrisome to our families. That doesn't directly connect to us. What those cuts in programs will impact is our school meals program eventually. A lot of times, the reason we qualify for our CEP models is the number of directly certified families. And so as that number reduces, that will have an effect over time, but not immediate.
Yeah, I would be interested if you could pass that along as soon as some
Yep.
of that information, because I would imagine the Medicaid cuts are going to severely impact our budget as well.
I hope not, but I suspect you're right. Any other business tonight? There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.